Welcome one, welcome all to Shady Grove Trailer Park, where my team of Dispersed are going to be taking on the Avenkian Shrieking Shock Trooper, which is right here in its half of the board. I have my 5 Dispersed, as always, deployed anywhere I please on the board, as well as hidden. Because this is an urban mission, I will have +5 to my initiative. My secondary objective is terrain recon, so we've got Ghost on that as per the usual. We're looking at touching this large shed and then the 6 trailers. As always, we have 5 turns to play. So we're going to start with DJ, as he is my highest acuity, currently at 25. And he's going to take that shot. When shooting over all that stuff, I'd have to deal with cover, but since my requisition came through last time and I got my targeting HUD, I don't have to worry about that. We're going to roll our D20 and add our combat stat. So that's a 13, plus my combat stat of 20 is a 33, which beats their defense 24. It's actually a 32 because I have -2 combat from my weapon, but it's still enough to hit. That's going to hit for 3d6. So for 5, 6, 7 damage. It won't matter here because I'm not close enough to him, but anytime that horror takes damage, everybody within 12 of him has to take a fortitude test or take some damage. Luckily, I set up nobody within 12 of them. DJ will then make his 12-inch move. For me, it's Fenrir, who's gonna we're gonna start off with a bang. We're gonna call in this drone strike from our drone control pod expansion. So I don't need line of sight for this, and it goes off at combat 19. That's gonna hit. 14 plus 19 beats 24 for 5d6. That was 1, I think. So 7, 8, 7, 9, 10, 11. It was a 2, not a 1. So 12 damage total on that. 13 because of +1 for his combat stat, which I don't... It might not use that because it has its own combat stat for the drone strike. Oh no, it's a combat stat check of a 19 plus. Okay, yeah, either way it's going to hit. So, but I don't think it's going to use the bonus from him. And for now, Fenrir's just going to chill. He's just going to stay put. The monster is up next. So the big bad couldn't see anybody / everybody was out of line of sight or hidden. So he moves in a random direction up to his full movement, but the random direction sent him to the edge of the board. So, yeah. Alexander is up next, and he can move 12. He will then take a shot at the big bad. Now, I haven't mentioned it yet, but I probably should. When you activate your models, you get basically two actions. One of them has to be a move. You can move before or after your action, but you cannot split your movement. When you move, it's up to your dexterity stat. Taking him a shot. Oh, that's a crit. Yep. That would have been a crit on a 19 or a 20 because I'm hidden, but that is most definitely a crit. So when I crit, I have retech weapons, so I get an extra 2d6 before we double it. And he's got a big gun, doesn't he? He's got 3d6 on his gun. Okay. That's a pretty good roll. So we got 4, 8, 12, 16, 21, +1 for his combat stat, so 22, doubled to 44 damage. Let's go. Because it's a monstrosity and I hit it with a crit, it will get a bonus activation and go next. I'm not going deep into the AI because the AI for this game is fairly intense, but it's about 8 different things. it ends up with him. He's not within an inch of anybody, but he has somebody within his movement and line of sight, so he will move towards them. And attack. It will attack me twice with its ripping claws. The 7 might be a miss. The 17 is definitely a hit. Both of those will indeed hit me. The first hit doesn't matter how much damage it goes because I have my bubble. So the first hit will pop my bubble. Second hit is a 7, of which I negate 3. 1 for my armored team, 1 for my reinforced thermal plating, 1 for my fortitude stat. So 4 damage. Maui is up next for me. Moving to here to take his shot. Luckily he has a HUD, so no cover for the bad guy. I'm hidden, so I would crit on a 19 or a 20 here. That is a 4 plus my combat of 20. Luckily that will not hit because of the -4 combat that I have for the big weapon. Womp womp. Last up for me will be Ghost with a dexterity of 14, who's going to move to get to pass within an inch of this building, and then hopefully get as far as he can towards that building. Ghost will cease his movement right there, making it to these back 4 terrain pieces for scouting purposes. Our AI lands on 3. So we start our activation within an inch of an enemy that we attacked during our last activation. So we will move up to our full distance towards the enemy with the lowest hit points within my range and make the first listed attack on my profile. So that'll be that he can see here. Specifically says he will make the first attack on his sheet, which is his claws. Getting a hit and a miss. This hit will pop Maui's bubble. This clip in front. Turn 2 will begin with a foobar check. I did it on turn 1. I didn't film it. Nothing happened. Something will happen now, however. That's a D20 roll. Getting a 2. So that will be a civilians. The people in their trailers see and hear what's going on out here and move to vacate the park. DJ will then activate, and he's going to move down into the garden and take a shot. He's got a HUD, so no cover. That's a crit because of how high his combat is. So let's go. 3d6 plus 2 for the retech weapons. That's a good roll. 6, 11, 12, 17, 22, 23 for my combat stat for 46 damage to his face. So the Shrieker gets to activate now because I crit on it. Crit all on his face. He is, however, in extremis, so he will immediately take 2d6 damage. And if I roll well here, he could just potentially fall over dead, but I have to really nut the roll. I do not nut the roll. He'll take 4 and then get to activate. Now also, because I did damage to it, I got to back up here for a second. I got to take some tests for people, all these people that are around him. So everybody has to take a fortitude stat check at 20 or take 2d6 or suffer 2d6 damage and become stunned. So let's sort that out. Everybody passes with flying colors except DJ, who has a pretty low fortitude compared to everybody else. I think in this situation I would still be stunned because I take the damage, my bubble negates the damage, but I still got hit, so I would still be stunned. Now we can finish up the big guy's movement, where he will move to the person with the lowest health, which is... Maui has the lowest health. So I guess it would be the next lowest health, which would be DJ. It will continue to attack him, and because it did not use its Keening Shriek last time, and because there are multiple enemies within 12, it will use its Keening Shriek. And the Shriek is pretty much the same thing as its Sonic Murmurs, the thing it does when it gets hit. 12 inches, fortitude check, 21 this time. everybody within 12 inches, which is luckily not DJ. It'll just be these three fellows right here. Fenrir will lose his bubble and become stunned. Everybody else passes with flying colors. Fenrir activates next at Acuity 21, and he will take a shot at the dude. Who need this to hit? Get out of here. Get right. Shut the front door. So that's going to be 46 plus 1 damage. Right? Yes. Oh, look. It's way more than enough to kill the shrieking shock trooper. Alien, dispatched, dispersed, disengaged. Now, unfortunately, I believe I did this wrong in previous bat reps. I do not, in fact, get the opportunity to go around and try to finish my secondary objective. As soon as the thing is dead, it is done. So that's a bummer, but it is what it is. I also lost my bonus for not alerting civilians. So, but I also killed it on turn 2, which I think might be a record for me. I had some good crits in there. So let's go to post game, see what happens. So I'm going to net a total of 3 XP for everybody. That is 1 for participating, 1 for killing the monster by turn 3, and 1 for nobody being put out of action. With that, we're going to raise DJ's fortitude by 1. We're going to adjust his hit points because your hit points are equal to your fortitude plus 15. So remember, when you gain fortitude, adjust your hit points accordingly. Maui is going to take an acuity, which I think I wrote the wrong way. I did. I went down. I was supposed to go up right there. Never mind. No, I didn't. I'm right. 14. And Fenrir is going to take a fortitude as well, adjusting his HP to 29. I think he might get a bonus here. I got to double check that. Alexander is going to adjust his his acuity up 1 to 16. And Ghost is going to adjust his dexterity to get him quicker, which puts him at the bonus of ignoring dangerous terrain, which I wrote down in the wrong place because I wrote it down there, up there on DJ. We then come to our potential requisitions. For my equipment, I want 2 more HUDs. I want HUDs until everybody has HUDs. So I'm going to have +2 to this one because I've not made this particular requisition for HUD. So I'm going to need 6 or greater, and I'm dispersed, so I got to roll 2 and take the lowest. +2. Not get internet communications relay communication monitoring system. I need a 5 up for the base upgrade. I'm still dispersed, so it's 2d6 the lowest, but I'm +3 to the roll. 2 is my lowest. 2 plus 3 is 5. I will get my communication monitoring station, which allows me to treat any one foobar roll as a 1, regardless of the actual result. And that, my friends, will do it for today's game of Majestic 13. Thanks so much for tuning in, hanging out while I rolled some dice. I hope you have an absolutely amazing rest of your day.